The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name's Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. 1-800-610-7035 is worldwide toll-free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. According to my guest this hour, X-Zone Nation, the CIA is using transmission which are brainwashing we the people. My guest this hour is a whistleblower who calls herself the White Rose II. Due to slander, fears for her safety. She has proof that the CIA, that's the Central Intelligence Agency, has been brainwashing Americans for 50 years. She is attempting to sue the Department of Defense and other governmental agencies, claiming that weapons of mass destruction had launched with NSA transmissions to engineer our culture and lives. Not only our lives, but the Americans, mind-controlled with bad luck. She claims that it's all part of what we call today remote viewing transmission technology to manipulate mind and body on ordinary people for money and power. Now, she has been impeded in all her attempts to legally fight and expose this psychological warfare on our streets. Her life has been sabotaged for the past 4 years, using unwitting innocent people in dissuading her to take her down. Joining me now is the lady that we will call Mirelle. Mirelle, welcome to the X-Zone.
Thank you. Glad to be on the show.
Is your life in danger?
Yes, definitely. Not in a overt way, but yes.
Now, there are stories of people who have tried to bring the CIA down and other members of governmental agencies, and the stories claim that these people just disappear. Do you fear for your life that one day you will just disappear?
No, not anymore. It will be cancer, car accident, a family member who's already been attempted to be killed twice as a threat and as a scare tactic. With car accidents, it will be, or some kind of fake suicide or something like that will never be able to be proven. A Marilyn Monroe kind of technique or something along those lines. It will not be a disappearance.
Mirelle, stand by. You and I have to take our break. www.exposingalltruth.com is the website. We'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break talking about CIA transmissions that are brainwashing we the people. This hour here on the X-Zone. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
We all desire health, happiness, and fulfillment, but often get in our own way. Repeated patterns that leave us out of control can keep us feeling powerless, frustrated, and unable to move forward in spite of our best efforts. Unconscious patterning disconnects us from our gifts, often destroying the very thing we seek. But there is an answer. We can take charge of our destiny and heal the trauma of our history. Shamanism is an effective ancient modality that can reconnect us with our true selves, empower the creation of our dreams, and return us to health and balance. Cody Alexander is a certified shamanic practitioner and teacher with 11 years' experience. Email healingpathways33@gmail.com or visit codyalexander.net to schedule a long-distance shamanic session today.
Mirelle is our special guest. We're talking about CIA transmissions, which are brainwashing we the people. Mirelle, where did all this start with you? What is behind the action that you are trying to bring before the CIA as well as the Department of Defense and other governmental agencies? Take us back in time to the beginning.
Okay, yeah, it is definitely NSA transmissions that were COINTELPRO mind control, Patty Hearst, a long time ago, and developed from experiments, developed into, they evolved it, knowing there's power. And I thought I was the only one they targeted. In 2007, I was traumatized, I freaked out, and I was remotely recruited for the CIA for espionage, sexual slavery in the White House, and behavior modification. No clue. I had no idea what was going on.
All right, hold on here. Slow down a little bit. You say that you were targeted by the CIA?
I say that hindsight. I didn't know it was the CIA back then. I thought it was just the FBI until I left the country and ran away to Australia, Europe, London, just to get away, and found out it's weapons of mass destruction, and they're being used.
All right, now slow down. You didn't answer my question. Why you? When did this start? How do you know that it is the governmental agencies that are?
I thought it was just me, and I found out it's not. It's something that occurred in the 70s before I came to this country. I thought I was alone. I thought it was just me, and I didn't know I was being brainwashed at first because I was targeted in 1996. But it's a class action suit. I found out there were millions of others complaining of the same thing.
Wait a sec. Now, hold on. Complaining about what?
About mind control.
All right. How do you know that you were or still are a victim of mind control?
Oh, gosh, when your body, when they talk to you and they tell you and there's no voices, it's synthetic telepathy, and that's the new buzzwords in the Pentagon. And you compare notes with others. You don't even take an aspirin. You just know. They tell you. They inform you. It's synthetic. You kind of know like a cold. And you know the synthetic is different. Your senses know. Your body knows. Common sense, gathering, research, talking to people, and they guide you before it occurs. And I'm not psychic; they're not psychic. Mm-hmm. You're in It's communications. It's sound waves.
What did they guide you? What did they guide you to do?
It started with those three things I mentioned: espionage, sexual slavery, and behavior modification. They took you, they called it the process. Mm-hmm. But They play back things that your life that is occurring in the privacy of your home. That's how it begins, and they stage you. They take you through different levels. I had no proof of this in 1996. I tried to go to DOJ, to the Department of Justice, and tell them. And of course, they don't believe it. They don't believe that these weapons are being used against civilians. But when you start to read books by former CIA agents who are dead, and they claim the same exact things that were just happening to you for 4 years, you know that these weapons exist. Then you buy the NASA product for $21,000. You look at the military patents in the archives of Washington. You put it together. You interview people, but you're guided. You're totally synthetically guided through your day, that they have knowledge, and they go back, and then they tell you they've been with you alongside, as like, do you ever hear of a child having imaginary friends?
Sure, every kid has them.
Talking to him?
Yeah, sure, every kid has them.
Not every, but some have. Some mothers, they tell their doctor or something like that, and they're developing imagination or something like that at a young age.
Sure.
It's almost like that, or Ghost, or with Whoopi Goldberg, where they speak to you. It's voiceless communication. It's sound waves.
So are you saying that the paranormal is caused by the CIA?
Correct. And then I have so much to tell you to prove this. Then you get an email sent to you in 2009 by Russell Tice, who explains how it bypasses the sense of the cortex, the eyes, the taste, all your 5 senses. So I was an accountant for 25 years. I went and got certified as a hypnotist. I learned all the anchors and triggers that make people paranoid, schizophrenic, and found out all the hospitals, 90 to 95% of the people are synthetically ill, not chemically. It's not natural or organically grown, these illnesses. And then it's Alzheimer's because it's a suggestion back to the future. And I figured out all these synthetic illnesses that came out 50 years ago that's got science under siege, and investigators in the FBI spinning their wheels at crimes that they induced in the streets with communication chaos, cognitive impairment from these transmissions that the mind controls the body. And then you've got the laser weapons that the LA police is using that's freezing people and body parts with lasers. That vision comes back. And I researched it. They experimented my entire body with it. I have pictures and proof of things that in my body that they use lasers to do things with. Dry a blister in a matter of seconds while they're speaking to you in your mind with sound waves. So it's a process that they're with you like an imaginary friend. In advance, they tell you what that person's going to do or say to you at the store or in the street. So believe me, And I was freaked out, and I didn't know what to do. I was screaming. I didn't know what to do. Then I learned NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and I found out that two CIA gentlemen had invented it back in the 70s when all this came out, COINTELPRO and the Church Committee, back in the 70s, I think, or 60s. And I did research, and then I talked to people in the psychotronics, government scientists and physicists, and I bought the equipment from a physicist. And I found out, okay, that's the reason for cancer and why hypnotists are in hospitals trying to alleviate pain on cancer patients, and why it only works sometimes and not other times, because it's selective, because it's directed energy weapons, because we are accompanied by these transmissions 24/7, and they remote view different families, different human beings at different times, and they toggle back and forth in your life. It's prevalent. I'm not alone. They do this. They started as experimenting, and now it's just like a matrix to have world domination, world control, and it's growing to it's up to 9 million individuals. So that's why there's no the FDA and the Kevin Trudeau cases and all the medicine. I discovered massive corruption that's been going on covertly, and it all makes sense and historically. And articles and history and Alzheimer's and Reagan, and I just put it all together. I just researched it and experienced it and put it all together, and they informed me. I was informed for espionage. So I traveled, I went around the world, and I just started seeing all kinds of nefarious uses, and then this article pops into my computer, and somebody sends me the NSA transmissions with the megahertz, and I had already purchased the product from a NASA physicist who's in Budapest, and it just cures and heals all energy, electricity in our body, what God invented, the Bible, just everything. And then I speak.
I have to ask you this time, what is a NASA scientist doing in Budapest?
Fugitive. They tried to assassinate him twice just for a mail fraud or something like that. The product is not approved by the FDA. It's healing. It's used all over the world, and people fly or go to Mexico to get cure for cancer. They're preventing illnesses and 9/11 Commission sabotage because they are the creators of it. They don't want any case that are blighting the courthouses to ever come to light with the hiding behind.
What is your expertise when it comes to being able to substantiate the claims that you are making?
The NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and
all right. Now, where did you get your NLP training?
Some of it from a gentleman who actually taught the FBI years ago. Some of it from other sources, some of it on TV.
Did you get it from an accredited institution or center of learning?
Yeah.
Which one?
I got the hypnotist certificate in Florida in 2008.
Okay, now when it comes to looking at schematics, when it comes to understanding the hertz ratios of and audio frequencies, where do you get your expertise? Because you're citing a lot of you're citing a lot.
Yes.
Wait a sec here. You're saying that you've got all this evidence, but I need to validate your expertise in order to fully comprehend what you're reading.
Okay. The megahertz and all that, I don't have expertise in physics. I learned quantum physics through the software, but
Wait a sec, hold on here. You learned quantum physics through software?
Well, we went through classes, but they don't teach you the actual science of it. They teach you how to apply it only. The megahertz and the other information I have from military patents that were through Freedom of Information Act and through the Russell Tice article on my website, and in the pleading to the judge with him explaining how it's done and each frequency for each sense. The auditory, the visual, each one is in the. He actually provided it to the American Chronicle, and it's on the website.
All right, you and I have to take our news break. Please stand by. Exo Nation, our guest this hour is Mirelle. The website that I'm going to point you to is www.exposingalltruth.com. That's www.exposingalltruth.com. 1-800-610-7035 worldwide toll-free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. You can watch and listen to the X Zone 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year at www.xzonetv.com. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. We'll be back after the news. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the four corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
X-Zone Nation, Mirel is our special guest. We're talking about CIA transmissions that are brainwashing the American public. Our toll-free number is 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. Our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. I understand that you are tortured and threatened in your attempts to expose what you know and to stop global denomination of the New World Order. Am I correct?
Yes.
Who's torturing you and who's threatening you?
It is definitely the covert secret government. They are very scary, dangerous people. There's a lot of money and power and in these weapons that they have discovered that the politicians are victims of and targeted as well, unwittingly manipulated. The president traveling through France, they were told a long time ago that President Bush was controlled by aliens. I have from Canada, only from Canada, was able to obtain something censored in the United States, CDs and books from psychiatrists who claim that was one of the projects that they started back in the 70s.
All right. Okay, let me just backtrack. Let me just backtrack here for a second. Are you saying that aliens from outer space are part of this conspiracy?
They are scapegoating aliens that control for political for war, for political reasons. These military projects and operations of PSYOPs from COINTELPRO are operating on U.S. soil, but were part of the military that are now that evolved into civilian. Is what I'm saying, that these experiments don't stop in the military. They are now using them as power to control the people with civilians.
All right, so
and it's a psyops. So it's presidents, it's politicians, it's Russia and China develop these weapons.
Is it real, or is this all a figment of imaginations?
Oh, absolutely not. I wish it were.
Now, let me get back to my question. The alien phenomena, UFO phenomena, is it real, or is this all being subjected to
absolutely. It's a UFO man-made in New Mexico and Arizona. It's hallucinations of these transmissions. They cause and create hallucinations. It's a very easy technology.
All right, now hold on here. Slow down.
Okay, I have so much to tell.
Take a deep breath. So are these UFO sightings real, or are these implanted hallucinations into the minds of people caused by these transmissions that you're talking about?
The latter. They are definitely hallucinations
Okay.
that evolved into a tangible scapegoat of a man-made UFO to cover up.
Okay, so what you're
legitimize the hallucinations back in the 70s. They definitely developed the spaceship.
All right, so
UFO.
let me see. What you are saying is that the UFO phenomenon has been implanted by the government powers as a cover for their operations.
Exact. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Very well put, sir.
Gotcha. You've got...
And they do that, and you know why? And you know what? They do that. I know all their tactics. I know everything with their signature on it. They do that because in hypnosis, you cannot brainwash a human being without their environment being a part of it. Mm-hmm. You can't just transmit someone to be fat because they're born on U.S. soil. Americans are dumbed down by putting a McDonald's on the corner. First, you transmit the mind to say, I'm hungry, and you put the McDonald's, you build the McDonald's on every corner, and you transmit them at the same time. You can't just say, okay, I'm hungry, I'm going to go drive to McDonald's. You have to do both, like the drink Coca-Cola or movies and popcorn culture, drugs, sex, and rock and roll. You can't just put it on TV and expect somebody to commit a crime because they watched a movie. You have to implant the mind and then create the tangible. There you have now just created brainwash.
All right.
Both.
So what you're saying is that it's the government who is implanting the will and desire of people to eat in order to get fat, and to make it happen, they put McDonald's all over the place.
Yes. Hello?
Tell me about your lawsuit.
It's just the beginning. I can't even get an attorney. They've all been sabotaged. The attorney on the class action suit case had brain surgery while he was while he was preparing the complaint. Mm-hmm. He complained of migraines, and upon information and belief, last I spoke with him, I went to visit him in Denver just to see who he was. Married to the DA in a small town in Colorado. He's now disconnected. His phone he's dropped the case. I'm not surprised. I was threatened that if I ever made it to the witness chair and on the witness stand, I would never enjoy the rest of my life. My family, all kinds of determined impediments. When I told him that, I flew out there. I was jacketed. It's a CIA terminology to put one against the other, and he thought I was there to kill him, but I was an agent. So he sent me home, and then he stayed on the case. A university in Silicon Valley granted us $15,000 to continue the case. He came back on the case, had brain surgery, migraines or something. His phone is now disconnected. He dropped the case, and his website is in Chinese. Where he is, I don't know yet. Where he went to, or his phone or his fax machine, they don't work right now. At this time, I can't reach him. So I'm not sure what's going on. He was very intelligent. He knew a lot of things. He knew that mood swings were created by this. It's the highest misdiagnosed illness in America, along with ADD, ADHD, which is also cognitive impairment from transmissions. It's a state of mind. It's hypnosis. Mind control is all about that. I can tell you stories about people choking, crib death, being framed by the police department. They don't even know that they're framing people, tampering evidence. It's all from the mind, and the police, they're all innocent. Corporations, telephone conversations. I can go on and on. It's just unbelievable and incredible. I just wish I never knew all this. It's horrible.
If you know all this, and if it's a threat to you, your family, your friends, and you've been targeted by every federal agency going, why are you pursuing it?
I have no choice. I have no other choice.
Well, sure you do. You've got a choice. You can just drop it and walk away.
They won't. That's what they want. They're trying to tell people to have me drop it. My mother and different people, they're just always trying to do that. that's a long story. I'm attacked all the time. They're taking me down financially. I can't work. They don't let me keep a job or a house. They're about to take my car away. They've already made my family ill. They don't even believe me. They've turned everyone against me. They've isolated me in the process of the brainwash so that there's no witnesses for 4 years. Now I'm trying to go public to save myself, and it's too late. And they won't stop. And it's the right thing to do. I can't, now that I know, I won't condone it. I won't turn the other cheek. There's too many people dying, the next generation, my nieces and nephews. It needs to be told. Somebody has to do it, even if I'm already dead. I already know they're already targeting me for cancer, probably. It's too late. I might as well do something. Religiously, I have to do something about it. I can't turn the other cheek because then I'm part of the problem.
Tell me, have you ever filed a lawsuit before against the government?
No.
You've never filed. You've never filed anything in the District of Columbia?
No. But whenever you call 911, you're picked up in the radar. Whenever you go to EEOC, you're picked up in the radar. Whenever you try to file a regular civil suit, you're picked up in the radar. If you're a civil rights attorney, you're in the radar. If you look at the website, all the black people who tried to be in politics, I was sent information, all cancer deaths. All my sources and books written by CIA or by journalists died. Cancer, brain, Kennedy, the recent Kennedy. The other fashion, Jim Keefe, human engineering, mass control, he died he was pushed or something, or suicide, or it's all, and you can never prove it. They're all dead. Everyone who has tried to expose this is deceased. There's a few, and if they don't know everything, but they were involved, or they're fugitives, it's rare. It really is rare. Airplane crashes, death rays, melting an engine from 250 miles away, piece of cake. You're on that plane, they want you dead. People were called, don't get on that plane on 9/11. They wanted to save them. I can go on and on and on. I was choked every time I went to see an attorney where I almost died. And then my aunt is framed by the police department for trying to murder a baby in the crib. People are telling me they're choking their friends by just looking at them as little girls. I'm like, what? This is technology. This is unbelievable. I just put it all together. All this weird stuff. Breach. When you join the bureau, weird things start to happen in the movie. It's just common sense in my experience and my body and what they put me through. And then the technology and the other people and the other folks I talked to, we all compared notes. It's just it's unbelievable. It's so easy to identify now. I can identify anyone who's a victim, unwittingly or wittingly. Subtle transmission, subtle thought, subtle urge, or strong anger. I can go on and on of how they've experimented and killed people and mistaken identity, stalking on the internet.
Now, I asked you a few seconds ago if you have ever filed any other lawsuit, and you said no. Am I correct?
In District of D.C., yeah.
How many lawsuits have you filed against the U.S. government?
This is it. Yes.
You mean you've never before.
Well, I have a lawsuit with a tenant.
Well, then why is it, according to LoisLawSchool.com, and this is a quote, this is Marielle Torgman's second case alleging that the United States government has engaged in decade-long surveillance of herself and others.
It is the same pleading, the same court. It is the same. It was just done 2 weeks before. It is the same complaint. Okay. It's amended, but one at the FedEx counter, I was in the process of mailing it. It was taken from the counter. Somebody walked away with it, and they won't release the surveillance tape. So somebody's got my complaint in their hands, and it's got errors in it that I was transmitted to omit Donald Rumsfeld from one of the pages. I had to redo. I redid the complaint and refiled it. I don't have an attorney. I don't know what to do. I don't want it. I think it's going to have to go in appeals. But it's basically the same complaint within a month or two in July of last month.
And you last filed your documents. You last filed your documents on July the 20th. Am I correct? And the judge was Judge John D. Bates.
Yes. The 7th, he dismissed it, and I already sent a motion. Well, attorneys tell me that's typical, but I already sent a motion to vacate or something along those lines, and I'm looking for an attorney. I'm looking for help. The second thing is when this document went into the chief judge's desk, it was switched, and the girl had to go to his desk and switch it to the correct one with naming names of assassinations. So the chief judge almost got the wrong one, and the cover sheet from the FedEx counter, I don't know why it wasn't followed. And I called the courthouse, the court clerk, and I asked them to please make sure that the right one gets in front of the judge and that it gets filed correctly without the wrong case. So I finally got it the right way, and they finally got it, and now I need an attorney, and that's where it's at. But no, it is one and the same case.
All right.
It's an 87-page document.
Okay, but the thing is that your case has been thrown out of court right now.
Correct. And I'm told that's typical, and the FBI and everyone else is going to try to dismiss it. That's the kind of the normal, but I do want it to be in the hands of the Supreme Court. But that is, I was told from attorneys who are going through the same thing, who are in Asia right now with this Iraq and Guantanamo transmissions and all that's going on that I'm trying to get out. This is typical of some judges, and they won't even read it. They're just delighted with cases. They won't. There's a woman who was a CIA agent in Iraq, Susan Landauer. They did the same thing to her. They incarcerated her. They told her she was mentally ill, and then they let her go, documenting all these doctors were incorrect, and she's never been mentally ill. And then I have a friend in California, the same thing, and the test results were tampered with, just like the voting results. The World Wide Web has been hijacked. I can go on and on and on.
I'm sure you can.
That go on.
Listen, you and I have to take a commercial break. Don't go away.
Okay.
My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. For more information on this rather unusual case, www.exposingalltruth.com. I'll be back on the other side as we do our wrap-up for tonight here in the X Zone from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
19 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I have learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer, trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world.
Explanation, our guest this hour is Mirelle. Her website, www.exposingalltruth.com. What would you like to tell the world? Here's your opportunity. You've got 2 minutes. Tell them what you want to tell them.
Oh my gosh, courage, please. And I am seeking an attorney. I haven't been able. I've been sabotaged. And I hope that I'm not discredited and slandered like Al Gore or any of the other people who try to tell the truth with seismic waves and whatnot. And if I can interview, I will gladly provide anyone with details and information of my experience day to day for 4 years of accumulated facts and documentation of how I can prove and help the world, because I know it's too late for me, but if there's anyone out there who has the courage to bring this out and expose this, to dismantle the CIA, there's radio interview talks from doctors and deceased people who will say it in a better way, who have credibility if they don't believe me. I'm really just trying to do the right thing and just to warn people. And hopefully they won't take me down. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. You know,
But don't you think that if they were going to take you down, they would have done it before now?
They would. They can't. It's too late. I've already gone public.
So?
And they can in a way where they can't prove it, where I can't prove it, and no one can do anything about it. The best way right now to deal with me, because I won't stop. For 4 years, I told them they're messing with the wrong woman. The best way to deal with me is to discredit me completely. They have no other choice. I backed them up against the wall. Through the not today, but a year ago.
But why,
I forced them.
How did you do that? How did you do that? Tell us how you did
that.
Yeah.
I have an email that I sent in January, and I hope that this is not affecting my case, because the NSA recruited for a new attorney when I filed this, when I prepared my suit in May 28th, when I was attacked and when I was threatened. They started to recruit for a new attorney. I hope that this doesn't hurt my case, that they can't use.
You've got about 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds.
Okay. In January of I believe I want to say 2009, I changed history. I started to say I'm going to expose this and create a website, a paper with facts of a website, and they tried to cover everything up historically in the news, in the media, creating war, creating cover-ups of Apollo, of a shuttle going up in the air, of the piracy, of different things that I was putting in as I was writing in my computer. I was creating them to cover their tracks with every accusation I made. They created in real life to discredit me. It is incredible how much money I have generated and how they manipulate the economy and how I watched Project Mockingbird in action.
All right, listen, we've got to say so long for tonight, Mirelle. Thanks very much for joining us. Okay. Be safe
You're
out
welcome.
there.
Thank you so
Take care
much.
of yourself. Bye-bye now.
So
we'll be back tomorrow night, X-Zone Nation, at 10 o'clock, as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. So until tomorrow night, take care of each other, love your children, and always keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.